Good morning, everyone. We are coming up to a very special Shabbos because this week's Parsha is a very special Parsha. There's so many different laws, so many different lessons. This is why, as we have right in the beginning of the Parsha, it says that this Parsha was said by Hakel. Hakel means the gathering of all the Jews. The Moshe Rabbeinu gathered them all, and he gave them a series of laws, one after another, and it's full of laws. And therefore, there's so much that we can learn from this Parsha. But we're just going to talk about one short idea and hopefully one short lesson. And in this week's Parsha, in Pasuk 15, Tedvav, the Torah says, one of the laws, Betzedek tishpot amitecha. Meaning to say, literally, Betzedek means with justice. You should judge your friend. Amitecha means your friend. And Rashi gives us explanation. What does it mean with justice? You should judge your friend. What do you mean? But Rashi says, Kemashmao, simply do it with justice. But then Rashi gives us another explanation, very beautiful, deep explanation. And Rashi says, Davar acher, another explanation, Evedan et chavercha lekaf zchut. Judge your friend favorably. And that's what the Torah wants to teach you a lesson. When you come to judge somebody else, especially your friend, chavercha, Rashi says. Even though Pirkei Avot it says kol adam, here Rashi says, when it comes to judge your friend, judge him favorably. And this is one halacha, one law in this sixth parsha. Sometimes we have a situation. Sometimes it could be my friend, but if something went wrong, and immediately I will judge him. Says the Torah, justice. When it comes to judge your friend, judge him favorably. We can always make mistakes. There's a lot to talk about this lesson. I just wanted to share a story about it. It's a long story, but I will try to make it as short as possible because we like to make things quick. Mashiach is coming. We've got to hurry up. The story was with these two fellows. One was his name Gavriel and one was his name Shimon, if I recall right. These two fellows, they were both yeshiva boys, learning yeshiva, as we call it in yeshiva, they were chavruta, partners in learning. When they grew older, they both got married. Gavriel got married to a very wealthy family, and he took over the business. He became a big businessman. Shimon, his friend, also got married to a nice family, not wealthy, but okay. But the beauty of both of them was, even after they got married, even though Gavriel was completely into business and wealth, etc., they every day dedicated 3 hours to continue the learning together. And when it came these 3 hours of the evening of learning, it could be whatever it is, they did not stop. They would do the learning. And the entire household, everybody knew that these 3 hours, these two friends dedicated to the learning, it do not interrupt. And this was going on for years. These two, Gavriel and Shimon, every day in the evening, 3 hours, no cell phones, no internet, no connection to anything. They were sitting and learning like the good olden days. Once was a story that one of the people that Gavriel did business with, he owed him a lot of money. And he was traveling and he felt right to pay him up before he's leaving town. So he comes into the house and he wants to pay him up. But there wasn't the 3 hours of learning. The girl there working in the house, she knows that this is not the private time. But the fellow says, I'm leaving and I want to pay him up before I leave. So she quietly opens the door for him and he walks in to the room where they're learning. And he puts down an envelope. When that envelope was 12,000 gold coins of the value of gold coins. Enormous amount of money. And he puts it on the table. And he walks out, but Gavriel and his friend, they were so into the learning they didn't even think about what's going on. The girl with this fellow walk out and they continue. As they do the learning, Gabriel has to get up in the middle of the night, has to go do some private things for a second. As he gets up, he sees the envelope, he's excited, the guy paid him up, he knows the amount, he sees right away, it's 12,000 gold coin, it's a lot of money for him, they paid him up before he left. He goes out to the bathroom, but he comes back. He wants to take that envelope, it's not there on the table. His friend Shimon is in the meantime into the learning, but he sees the money is not there. He right away tells Shimon, his friend, Shimon, where's the money? Did you see it? He said, yeah, I saw the envelope of the money. Where is it? I don't know. He says, what do you mean you don't know? Does anybody in this room besides you? He says, I don't think so. I was learning, but I didn't see anybody coming in. So he tells me, if nobody came into the room and you were alone and you say the money was there and it's not here now, where's the money? You must have taken it. Did you take it, please? He says, no, I did not. To make a long story short, it became a situation between these two. Gabriel accused him, you took the money. He says, I did not. I was in my learning, I didn't even think or see anything. To make a long story short, I went to the Beit Din, to the court. Gabriel accusing his best friend, his learning partner, for the money. Shimon says, no, I did not. The Beit Din says to Gabriel, he doesn't have to pay you. You have no witnesses. There's no right. The only thing you can make him swear, but doesn't have to pay you. To make a long story short, he didn't pay him. He couldn't afford paying him. It's a lot of money. Gabriel was wealthy. He wasn't a wealthy man. Gabriel takes the loss, but the friendship completely dissolved. The learning completely dissolved. In his heart, he knew his friend took the money. You know, it's a big test. It's a lot of money. And he assumed he took the money. He has no proof to prove it that he took the money, but what can he do? He took the money. So self-understood, there's no more friendship. A few days later, the Rav of the Beit Din, the Rav of the city, comes in with one of the Dayanim, with another fellow. They walk into the house of Gabriel. The Rav comes in, Gabriel gets up. What is the rabbi doing in the house? He says, no, it's okay, I just want to walk, show me where's the room that you were learning in the good days with your friend. So he escorts him to the room. And as soon as he escorts him to the room, he tells the man, the third man, the worker, he says, open up to the floor. He opens up the floor, they start digging there a bit under the tables there, and the envelope of the money is taken out. And he says, Gabriel, here's your money. He looks at the rabbi, he says, Rabbi, what's going on over here? He says, here's your money. Self-understood, Gabriel felt like, I can't describe how he felt, horrible. But the first thing, Rabbi, how did you know? What's going on over here? So he says, sit down, I'll tell you what's going on. The girl that works for you, she's engaged to this fellow, but they have no money. The fellow tells the girl, in order we should get married, I got to get some money. So he told her, you know, you work for a rich man, take a few dollars, we'll be able to get married. And she started watching you, where could she get a few bucks from you? When this fellow came with an envelope to pay, she walked in with him, she saw what's going on. She said, that's her time right now. When you walked out to the bathroom, she saw what's going on. When she saw your friend Shimon completely in learning, she said, that's her time. She took the money away. But it was a lot of money. She was scared to walk out of the house with that. So she threw it under, dug a little place, nobody realized, and when the time comes, she'll take it home. The problem was only, as soon as she had so much money, she started looking down on her boyfriend. She's not a rich lady. And it became a situation between them. What happened, the boyfriend, he gets upset with her. He came to me, the rabbi says, and he says, I want to tell you a story. And he tells me the story about the girl that he's with, what she did. And this is how I found out. She is the one that took the money from you. He feels devastated right now, Gabriel. And he goes and he tells the rabbi, please, where's my friend? They bring in Shimon. He says, Shimon, you never did it. How did I accuse you? Can you imagine what was going on at that moment? And the rabbi looks at both of them, are they becoming friends again and partners again? It says, look, look, look. The lesson from this, judge your friend favorably. You never know. Let's take this lesson to ourselves. Very important, very beautiful from the 6th parsha. Every say all a good, beautiful Shabbos.